On this week's podcast, we have the sneaker-loving, real estate slanging duo, like father, like son, Femi and Femi. Check it out. Yeah, kid. Welcome everybody back to another episode of Smells Like Cappy with Handsome. I'm your host, Charles Weinraub, a.k.a. the Handsome Homebuyer, a.k.a. Captain Bourbon, a.k.a. Oh, what's going on today? Yeah? No fire today, huh?
Maybe it's kind of early. We'll get it. We'll get there.
Obviously, if you have a house that smells like Cappy, you know I'm quick, I'm easy. I'm trying to buy 200 houses this year. I want to buy it. 516-777. Sold. We got the captain to my right. Captain! Nice. That worked well for the first time. Obviously, if you have any permit problems, we're here for you. 516-513-8838. The towns are bad. They're getting worse. Scott, vouch for me on that.
Don't work with the towns whatsoever.
All right, take my word for it. The towns absolutely suck.
Right.
We're getting old, bro.
We are getting old.
We're getting old. You look young as hell. Like we were talking about before. Every time I see you, I'm like, bro, you look younger. You look slimmer. Skin's glowing. Hair's getting thicker.
Juices and berries, bro. Juices and berries.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, I would love to know the secret because me, I'm getting bolder by the second, fatter by the minute, drier skin, wrinkler, whatever it is.
Okay.
But
I'll take you to Brooklyn with me. We'll pick some stuff up for you.
Is that the secret?
Yeah. Need you to take you to Brooklyn. You gotta go hang out in Brooklyn for a little bit.
I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
You think
I gotta take you back.
You think I would have some of that in me naturally?
You should. I mean, you might have lost it, so we'll take you back to Brooklyn.
No, yeah.
Father-son duo. We'll get you right.
So last podcast we did, we had the Saldanas on, which is it's very cool. It's somewhat, I don't want to say depressing, that we're of the age in which we can have children.
Children,
that
right?
can be, working in a similar, like, yeah, I'm 42. Like, for all intents and purposes, I could have a 25-year-old, 22-year-old.
Right.
Whatever. It's also very, very cool. Like, I get to work with my dad every day, so it's great that you guys get to work together.
Yeah,
but
that's really cool.
The Saldanas are out there. They're doing their thing. You guys should definitely check out that podcast if you haven't already. And now you guys are doing your thing.
That's right.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. How old are you?
19.
19?
Yeah.
Shit. So fresh in the business, 6 months? If that.
Like 10 months.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I know myself, right? Like, I typically try to fight my parents on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything growing up. So what led you into doing this? Like, was Pops like, yo, you should do this? And you were like, nah, or yeah, or he just let you be out on your own? Like, how did you find your way into real estate?
I honestly always liked the idea to like fixer up stuff, like buying your own stuff and like making it your own, putting your own spin on it. And I also saw there was a lot of money to be made like throughout the business. And also I saw my dad, he always had like the freedom to like make his schedule and like whatever he wanted to do. As far as like being around for like my events and stuff, like basketball wise, like tournaments, like school events. So I always wanted to always have the time to pick my schedule, not have somebody tell me what to do, like when to do it. Yeah, like report to somebody.
Look at Pops glowing over there.
Yeah, so that was how I got into it. He didn't like force me or anything like that. Tell me like take the test.
Did he bring it up? Was he like, yo, you should do this? Or did you just come to him straight out and you were like, hey, listen, Pops, like, that's it. I'm out of school. It's time to grow up. I want to do real estate.
He didn't even come to me. Honestly, my mom was like, you should probably take the test. Why not? I work with him because I was working at a grocery store before. And she was like, why not? So I was like, all right. So I just put my head down, studied for like 4 weeks.
You passed the first time out the gate?
Nah, I failed like twice. But I was still like going outside, like hanging out, like still the whole thing. So I had to get disciplined and serious. I was like, all right, I'm not going outside for like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm gonna just study. And then I passed like the last time around.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
Third time is a charm.
Yeah.
So, how did you?
Can we get some comfortable chairs here? Oh.
Nah,
No, it doesn't have. Okay.
No, we don't have that. We don't have that kind of bread around here, bro.
Sorry.
Budget.
So it's also it's cool because your dad does everything. Like he does real estate sales, he does rentals, he does flips. So he's like a jack of all trades. So you're getting really the best education you possibly can.
Yeah.
And you get the sales, you get in, you build in the money, then you're putting into flips when the opportunities come. Then you're putting that into rentals, which is passive, which builds generational wealth.
Yeah.
So he's really helping set you up both with the assets and then now with the knowledge so you can go and do yourself. So you're very lucky in that respect.
Yeah. And yeah, he's very like diversified, trying to get his license in like other states and stuff like that. So yeah, he's very knowledgeable, so I can ask him about anything.
Jersey.
You going to Jersey?
Yeah, man.
Jersey market's hot, man. A lot of people going to Florida too right now. You thinking about doing Florida?
I'll probably do Florida after. I think the more licenses that you have, the better, obviously, as far as having the knowledge. And then whatever you choose to do with it, you do with it. It never hurts. You know me, I'm a sponge. So as much information as I can learn, I'm always going to try to learn.
How did you feel when he came to you and he's like, yo, Pops, I'm going to do this? Were you fired up about it or what?
Yeah, I was fired up about it because, like I said, like he said, I had nothing to do with it. You and I both know whenever you tell somebody to do something, being a hard-headed person like I am, you tell me to do something, I'm doing the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So I had nothing to do with it. He came to me and said that, he took his test, he passed, and he wanted to do it. So I was a little shocked and, psyched, of course. And, I'll be honest, I'm not the easiest person to work with. But
you've also been rolling solo for 30 years, bro.
Yeah.
So it's different.
To work with somebody else, me being such a control freak, like you said, it's not the easiest thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it takes me back to everything that I was doing 19 years ago. So when I got my license, he wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
When we moved into our first house, he was 2 months old.
Yeah.
So, going back to that and going back to trying to, think about things from 19 years ago.
Yeah.
As far as trying to teach him. So like you said, it's a bit of a learning curve and, it takes you back. It just, it humbles you and it's really cool. So.
Yeah, it's got to be cool reliving that again now. Like it's like you're being able to go back knowing then what you know now type of thing.
Right.
And as a result, you get the benefit of accelerating and all that knowledge and all those years of experience and all that.
Yeah, and put like my own like spin on things.
You ever see the picture of your dad in that full denim jumpsuit back in the day, bro?
Denim, no.
Now you ever seen that thing?
Seriously? That's what we're going to talk about.
Well, we're going to flash to that thing. It's right here in the podcast right now. We're going to get that shit from you. It's going to pop up right here.
Okay, great. Okay.
So,
Great. Thank you.
Dad kept that in the archives, but now I've seen that and it's coming back.
I was trying to bury it,
the
but
world's
you just,
gonna No, it's too good.
Okay.
It's too good.
Okay.
So
I'll give you another picture too, which I'm sure you'll love.
My dad and I, we work together at Mako. We work together here, and there's like some frictions. In certain respects, it's tough to work with family, right?
Yeah.
So how do you guys balance that? What are things that you've had to work through? Because this is a problem, or just not necessarily a problem, but it's something that's challenging that people have to work through on teams.
I think complimenting each other would probably be the best thing. What somebody else is not strong in, you could pick up for them. Like, let's say, for instance, going into listings, trying to take a listing. If somebody's not getting the perspective that you're trying to pitch to them, somebody else could try to pitch it in a different way. Or saying a different sequence that might fit for their scenario. Because, some people just don't get it. Like, when you pitch it to them one way. So, and that respect in that aspect. Also, I think you have to be diverse. It just can't be straight business and work like 24/7. So getting out, hanging out, just enjoying life. You only get one shot at it, so try to make the most out of it. And that's what I was at.
Give me a proud dad moment. Where's there a moment where you guys are doing business, maybe like you're pitching a listing or you're working with a buyer and he runs with the ball and you just that's my kid.
I've seen it a couple of times, when it comes to the appointments and also, when we're talking to buyers and also when we're talking to sellers, I'm pretty no nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't do the dancing. I try to always get straight to the point.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need somebody to kind
you're a real estate assassin, bro.
I try to be. Nigerian assassin.
Yeah.
He tones it down for me a little bit. So it helps. It's almost like good cop, bad cop in a sense. When you have two people working together. So, like he said, when you're working together, you understand that there's nothing personal about what we're doing. At the end of the day, it's, we're trying to deal with business, and then when we're not dealing with business.
Do you guys have that balance though? Like, is it tough to be in a situation where you guys get into an argument or disagreement about something work related, and then you're going home and you have to see him and have dinner at night, and vice versa? You know what I mean?
it's never easy. You can't sit here and say no. It's all we're the Brady Bunch here. Hell no. You deal with that. You deal with that time in and time out. But you have to understand, like I said, that there has to be a balance, just like he said. Everything isn't personal. You give yourself some time apart because we're together pretty much all day long.
Yeah.
So, maybe I need some time just to cool off by myself, thinking about what happened, and you get over it. The next day is, it's a fresh start, and you get back to business. Because at the end of the day, it's about that common goal for us to do what we need to do. So you always have to try to look at it from that point of view. I mean, when you're going through it, you're not thinking about that. Maybe I want to rip his head off, but when everything is all said and done, you forget about that, and you kind of try to get back to business.
So talk to me about the training, right? So now, again, I talk about it all the time, broker beef.
Right.
Meaning 99.9% of brokers or team leaders, they don't do anything for you.
Right.
I'm sure you've experienced that. You've built yourself up from nothing.
Of course.
On your own.
100%.
Now you have all this knowledge. How do you go about transferring that knowledge to him?
I try to do it, I guess, as carefully as I can, and try to give it to him in bits and pieces, because I'm sure anybody working with me, I'm a little bit of a loose cannon. You can get a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of information.
I never saw you as obviously you and I have a very different relationship.
We have a different,
you and your son. So
right.
It's interesting to hear you say that stuff, because I don't see you as that guy.
Right.
I definitely don't see you as a loose cannon. You're like cool, calm, and collected, bro.
I try to be. I guess I put up a nice front.
Yeah, if something wild goes on, the only thing I see out of you is maybe an eye raise or something. I've never even seen you, raise your voice.
He'll hear the conversations because he's in the car with me. So the problem is when you're dealing with agents that just got into the business and feel like they know it all. So it's almost like you have to school them or educate them on what they're trying to pitch to you, which makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
So I deal with that, time in and time out. And
as far as the two of you together?
Yeah, when we're together, me speaking to other agents, where they're calling me on one of my listings, or we're trying to put a deal together. So he'll hear that part of it. And as far as with my son, it's, like I said, just try to give him the information in bits and pieces. Yeah. After every phone call, or I'm trying to put something together, after the phone call, I'll explain to him what the situation is and the way that it should have been said, or it should have been brought to me, and this is the way that it's being brought to me, so that he sees both sides of the spectrum.
I get it.
So that he tries not to make the same mistakes that some of these other agents are making, because like I said, a lot of them, they don't keep up with the continuing education. They don't keep up with a lot of the things that's going on out there in the market, and they feel like whatever they know is gospel. And we both know the way the market is now, stuff changes every single day. So you have to stay in tune with what's going on with the market and just all the different changes that are going on, so that when you are speaking to somebody, you have an idea of what's really going on.
Even some of the older agents, this is not my first rodeo, or I've been doing this 30 years ago, but what happened 30 years ago and what's been ongoing is not
that's one
up
of my
to date.
That's one of my favorite things that agents say. It's like, I've been doing this shit for 30 years, but that doesn't mean that you've been doing it well, or that you've done any business for 30
And I always
years.
love when you post that. I always like to retweet it.
And it's completely different 30 years ago from today.
Yeah.
Because think about last year, we were still doing stuff online. The last 2 years, we're still taking listings online.
We're still doing virtual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I would also argue, and I wanted to talk to you about this, about how, obviously you have 30 years in the business. So you have all this knowledge and practical experience and all these deals that are closed.
Right.
And you're passing that along to him. But at the same time, even though he doesn't have that experience and that knowledge, he's from a younger generation, and his reality is different from your reality. So there's things that he can help inspire and pass on to you to make your business better as well.
To make me better, of course, because, me doing it for as long as I've been doing it, I'm set in my own ways for the most part. But when you're dealing with the younger generation, not just my son, just some of the younger agents, like you said, they have a different perspective on things. They have a different spin on things. So I always say that to him all the time. It's anything that you can bring differently to make me do something and work smarter instead of harder. I welcome it all the time because that's only going to make me better and make me work a little bit more efficient. Because I'm hit the ground running, and that's what I've been doing since I was 12 or 13 when I was a paper boy. So I'm kind of used to doing things a certain way, but when you're dealing with the younger generation, they have a different perspective on things. So, I try to listen to that and try to keep an open mind. Yeah. As much as, I feel like my way is the only way.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with, the younger generation, you have to listen to them, and you have to, pay attention to some of the things that they're saying.
Yeah.
Because that's what keeps you fresh, and that's what keeps you in tune with what's going on. And that's what keeps a lot of the agents giving me the respect that I still get up till this day when I'm dealing with the younger guys. They call me an OG or whatever it is, but which I think is pretty cool. You're laughing. I welcome it. You got to keep an open mind, especially when it comes to this business, because they know a lot more and they could see things a lot quicker than we can. Yeah. And even sometimes come up with a solution. Yeah. So, this business, a lot of it is a lot of common sense, which a lot of people don't have. And also thinking on your feet, because the more problems that sellers and buyers have that you can help solve, the better position that it puts you in, because that really, at the end of the day, we're problem solvers. Yeah. So my pay scale and my pay grade is based on the amount of people's problems that I help solve on a yearly basis, on a daily basis. So, I welcome it, man.
So are you real big into the social media, the new platforms, TikTok, all that stuff?
I'm not on TikTok. I never downloaded it, but
you need TikTok, bro. That shit's fresh.
Yeah.
He needs it.
You need
I like the Instagram reels. Like, they pop up on my stuff. They suggested like the luxury stuff, the reels and stuff like that. So I want to do stuff like that. We had something in West Hempstead that was like newly renovated, and I should have did something like that, but we'll get more stuff. I'm gonna start implementing some reels and probably start the TikTok. Yeah.
He's too cool for school. That's what the problem is. So I'm trying to get him to.
You got to do it all,
more
man.
Of that stuff.
Dude, I got a TikTok. I'm old, man. I'm old and I got a TikTok. It's not a great TikTok, but I got it.
I got one too. I'm 47. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing with TikTok.
But you got to.
I got it though.
You got to do it. So the cool thing about you is like you do deals all over the boroughs, right? So you're doing deals in Suffolk, you're doing deals in Nassau, you're doing deals in Brooklyn and Queens,
right?
You've witnessed.
Yeah.
So talk about the difference in the dynamic between what goes on in like Brooklyn and what goes on out here.
Definitely the people, completely different. Like tenant situations, like right now, might not get access at all. Just different approaches to different things based on environments and like I said, the people. The people out here are more like like the boroughs and like Brooklyn and Queens. They're like rough.
It's Animal House, bro.
Yeah,
it's
wow.
It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah.
Long Island, you could, it's softer. Like you could ease your way into certain things. Speak some common knowledge or like common sense, but like the boroughs, they're like rough.
What's your approach? Talk about the difference between you in Brooklyn and then you in Nassau County.
In Brooklyn, I have to be an animal. I mean, I'm born in Brooklyn, as a lot of people know. Yeah. Like, we had a deal that we just did in Crown Heights. The day that we went for the walkthrough, you and I both know you do a walkthrough, you're in and out in 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah. We were there for 2 hours, or maybe 2.5 hours.
What, buyers trying to find every little nonsense thing?
Not even the buyers. It was a 2-family house. The seller lived on one floor, so he was leaving. The tenants lived on another floor, and they were supposed to leave, but because they couldn't leave in time, they were going to move from the first floor to the basement. Mind you, this is tenants that lived in a 3-bedroom apartment. And it was only supposed to be 2 tenants when we went for the walkthrough. There's 5 people there. Yeah. So now I have to try to calm the buyers down because they are ready to adjourn the closing. This is the 28th of December. Of course, I need this to go in for the month of December. That's one thing. And the tenants are also freaking out because the landlord promised them certain things. And when we're doing a walkthrough now, what he told them was completely different from what was actually happening.
He's just getting his check in.
And
That's all the
it,
tenant.
yeah.
That's all the landlord cared about. He was getting his money, and he just wanted to skip town.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of, you're trying to calm everybody down so that they can kind of look at the bigger picture. So the buyers that were buying the place, one of them worked for Children's Aid Society. She was a social worker. So, the thing about the business is you have to look at everything at times from a human perspective. If we didn't end up closing on this deal, the seller was actually trying to put those tenants out. And like I said, from a human perspective, you don't want to see that happen.
Yeah.
So one way or another, we were able to work everything out. We were able to calm the tenants down, and having a conversation with her to let her know, listen, nobody's looking to do you guys dirty, and we're not looking to do any of those things. The buyers are looking to try to make this work as best as we can. We were able to all do that. The tenants were crying by the time we were finished. So it's just, like I said, thinking on your feet, but also having that animal instinct, because when you're dealing in the boroughs, you have to have that. You have to be a monster, in a sense, because
people are trying to pull fast
they're
ones.
gonna try to fast talk you. They're gonna try to walk all over you, and you have to keep, you have to keep your guard up.
Yeah.
So I keep my guard up, when I am in the boroughs, because that's what I've been used to for half my life, because I lived there.
What about with listings when you're going in there and it's like I've never done a deal in Brooklyn, because every time I'm this close to doing a deal in Brooklyn, some crazy.
Because we were supposed to do a couple, and then we had some issues that happened at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I had another one recently where it was like, all right, attorney send the deal, just go and check it out. This is the number, and then like they're gonna meet you, and then all of a sudden like, oh, I got a stomach bug, and then all of a sudden I get a call from another realtor who's like, yeah, that's my client. And it's like there's always something
every single time.
Always, like it's exhausting.
It is.
It's exhausting. Like, I don't know how people do it. Dudes in velour jumpsuits with bags of cash, pulling contracts out of their fucking coat pocket. Like, it never ends.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Never
Because in the boroughs, and especially in Brooklyn, you have a lot of guys that are walking around with contracts, walking around with bags of money, and
Recording
they're looking to take advantage.
deeds,
Yeah,
deeds.
they're looking to take advantage of the of the older people. They're trying to take their houses from up underneath them, and I've never been one of those people. That's why my name in the streets has always been golden. Because for me, doing the right thing by people and not being an asshole, it means a lot.
Yeah.
Some of these guys don't care. For them, it's about every deal. I'm ripping and running, but I'm out here 20, going on 21 years now, and my name is still good in the streets. A lot of these guys, they do a deal. You can't even go back in that house after that deal closes because of the type of business and the shady business that you do. So for me, it's never been about that. I move around very freely, as you know. I go wherever I want, whenever I want with my kids. A lot of these guys, you're doing deals with people and you can't even go to the supermarket because you lied to the guy and told him that everything was good with the house and there was a a fire hydrant or something behind the house that you didn't tell them about, or just things that you conveniently forgot to leave out. And for me, that's not the way to do business. It's not cool.
If you want longevity, it's not the way to do
100%.
business.
Yeah. For me, it's about longevity. I have people that I did business with 2 years after I got into the business that I speak to up till this day. So for me, that means everything. And I tell my son that the same thing. The business is all about trying to be in it long enough so that you get repeat business from those people that you sold to 16, 17 years ago, so that when they are ready to upgrade or downgrade, they still look to you. When they have referrals of friends and family members, they look to you. So that for me has just always been key. So,
what do you where do you guys see the market? Like, what do you think's been going on like the last year? Where do you see us now, and then where do you see us going in the next couple of years?
The market last year was still pretty busy. The interest rates were lower last year. Last year we were under 3%, 2.375. Mm-hmm. Now we're at 4%. The
buying power decreased.
Buying power decreased, like my son said. Prices are still just as high. The bidding wars are still happening right now in 2022. We don't have enough inventory, and the way that I look at it is there's 25 to 30 people for each house.
Yep. I think this is the lowest the inventory's ever been historically.
Yeah, historically, I think it's been at the lowest. I mean, people see 4% and they feel like they want to jump out the window. I'm like, when I bought my house, interest rates were 6%.
Yeah.
But because I didn't fit the mold of that buyer, of that regular buyer, I got 8.5. I dealt with that rate for 6 months, and then I refinanced into 5.75. So 4% is not the end of the world, folks. You still just have to jump in. The people that are looking right now have to move because their situation changed or the motivation has changed. Everybody right now is trying to wait until the springtime. Everybody is trying to wait until that bubble bursts, and I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I think the market is still just going to be just as aggressive towards the end of the year. So I don't see it slowing down anytime soon, which is why I keep telling people. Some people think that it's a sales pitch, that now is the best time to get in. I have buyers that I was working with a year ago, or maybe even a year and a half ago, that were looking for 2 families in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Prices at that point were like 7 to maybe like 7.25. That same house
Now
right
they're
now
a mil.
is going for between $900 and $1 million.
Yeah.
So some of them see it and they're paying for it because they didn't listen to me. And the ones that are coming in now, you have to understand that, when you're trying to do FHA financing and you want to come in and try to see if you can nickel and dime on the price, this is not that market.
Nah. Nah.
I try to tell people that all the time. The ones that are listening get into houses, and the ones that are not listening end up losing out on 3-4 houses, and then they're asking me what they should do differently, and I tell them the same story that I've been telling them.
I actually haven't sold a house this year for under the asking price yet. So it's like if you're coming in under ask in most of these cases, like you're not going to get it. What's your mix of business right now? Meaning, are you taking mostly listings? Are you working with mostly buyers? Do you have like a healthy mix of both?
Right now, I have more buyers than I have listings right now, but I'm working on a bunch of listings that are about to hit the market within the next month or so. So right now, I'm trying to concentrate more on the listings as opposed to working with the buyers, because just the numbers don't make sense as far as what their budget is and what they're looking to get. So like, I'll give you an example. I have a buyer that's looking for a 1-family house in Nassau County, and their budget is $550.
It's hard.
The average sales price in the areas that they're looking is closer to $600.
Yeah.
And they can't stretch on their budget.
Yeah.
So they can come in at top dollar, and because they're putting down $100,000, they think that they have a little bit of flexibility and room. And I'm like, no, that's not the reality of what we're dealing with. And I have a lot of those buyers and a lot of those types of scenarios. So as much as we're going out with them every day trying to put stuff together, and because of my relationships with some of these agents, I'm trying the best that I can. It's just, it's really difficult right now. So I'm just trying to load up on my listings, and, everything's going to hit the market, and, we'll see what happens. But all we can do is help the ones that are realistic, the ones that have lost out on 2 or 3 houses, or maybe even 4 houses. Those people are more motivated than the average person that just come into market and saying, I'm ready to buy a house. How come I can't find something? So I have somebody right now who is pre-approved for $850,000 for a 2-family. I'm like, I can't find you anything.
Yeah.
You need an extra $100,000. But that's what my budget is. Okay, so then you got to set this out.
Yeah, or get a single family or whatever.
Or get a single family, or get a co-signer. If you can get more money to put down, those are really the options.
Or get something that needs some work that you have to put into.
Yeah. Because we just bought a house. I'll share this with and I paid over asking price, and the house still needs work. I still got to put probably about 150 into the house before I can move into it. Yeah. And I'm in the business.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to do. So that's the reality of what's going on right now, and people need to understand that. Like you said, getting something that needs work may be the best way to go. Or, if you have more money that you haven't told us about, now would be the time for you to pull it out. Yeah. Because, trying to come in and trying to look for a deal, this is not that market. Unless you're an investor, which I try to tell people, it's not going to happen.
It's always better, though, to buy stuff like that needs work, because if you buy something that's already like fixed up and stuff like that, it's whoever bought the house that put their spin and their style on the home. So it's like the price is already jacked up, and you don't really have the extra money to do any work or anything like that, because the price is already so high. So why not get something that needs work and put your own blood, sweat, and tears into it, and make it how you want it. How you want it.
So I want to close out with the sneaker thing. Obviously, you have your mother, you have your father, right? There's certain things, like I like to say I got the best of both my parents, right? You obviously
You don't have your dad's temper. I'll say that much.
no, dude.
Thank God.
No, yeah, no. I got that. That's my mom all the way. Yeah, no. Obviously, your father has a healthy sneaker habit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave it at healthy. I think.
Talk to me about the sneaker thing. I never really got into the sneaker thing. You guys are like trading, buying, wearing, like I mean, let's be real. You have a sneaker closet that would make, I mean, anybody jealous. How many pairs of sneakers do you have?
Probably about 200 pairs.
Is probably 200 like 250, 300, or is it like is that a real 200?
Can I plead the fifth, or can I keep it at probably 200?
All right,
we
just keep it there. That's cool.
Okay, we'll keep it
That's
there.
cool.
Okay,
Let's go.
Thank you. Okay.
You know, talk to me about sneaker culture a little bit. Why you got into it? You know, the buying, the selling aspect, because it's still super hot even years later.
It's been hot. It's been something for me. I said that to you the last time we spoke.
Yeah, how long you been doing that for?
Since I was 17, 18.
Shit. So you're like you were doing that stuff before it was cool.
Before it was cool to collect sneakers, before it was cool to even think about sneakers, I've been doing it. So
you were like the cool Herc of sneakers.
Yes, definitely the OG of sneakers.
Yeah.
So for me, it was 5 of us when we were growing up. So of course, everything that I wanted, my dad wasn't going to buy me because he has 5 kids that he needs to take care of. So I think my hunger and my passion for sneakers came from back then, me wanting things that I couldn't get, which is why I started working so early. And when I was in the position to be able to afford the sneakers that I wanted, I guess I kind of went apeshit. I went a little bit crazy, to put it mildly. And that's where it started, where it came from. And for me, my favorite basketball player is Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So when the Air Jordans came out, you know, I wanted them. My dad wasn't buying me a pair of $100 sneakers. That's what they were going for back in the 90s. In 89, 90, that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
So when I was in a position financially to be able to get the sneakers, I just, all the things that I couldn't get, I guess back then, I just wanted to have. And then when you get one pair, you see another pair that has some sort of significance to it, and then you want. There's a pair that came out when I was in high school that I wanted, or I had back then and didn't really take care of them. You buy them now. Because like you said, the sneaker culture now is different. So
do you have sneakers from 20 years ago?
I have a couple pairs that are maybe like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah. Still look fresh.
Yeah. So I do have a couple pairs that are probably almost 20 years old. But, you know, the sneaker culture is not something that you can really explain to people. It's just something, you know, if you have a love for sneakers. Yeah, there's a passion there. If you have a love for sneakers, then you have a love for sneakers. And that, for me, like I said, that's where it started from. And every day they come out with a different pair, different color, and some of them have different meanings behind it. So for me, I always want the most sought after sneakers, the ones that are the most exclusive. Like I have a pair of sneakers a pair of Jordans that they only made 2,200 pairs. And I have one of the 2,200 pairs.
Do you wear them?
I haven't worn those yet, but I am going to break them out one day. So for me, it's about the exclusive aspect of it. I don't want a sneaker that everybody has. I want to get the ones that everybody doesn't have and everybody wants to get or are sought after. So that for me is kind of where it comes from.
So then it could be an investment too.
It could be an investment, just like he said.
What's the connect? Like, how do you go and get the sneaker that everybody wants that nobody can get that there's only 2,200 pairs of?
But that also goes back to the relationships. Having a relationship with the right people.
30 years deep.
Having the plug, knowing the right people, and doing good business. When you do good business with people, when they have something that a lot of people want, they're going to think about you because they know that you do good business.
Yeah.
When the sneaker comes or they bring it to you, there's no story. I'm not here to haggle. I don't want to negotiate. You have the ones that I want. Let's talk. You give me the number, and then I'm out the door. I'm in and out in 5 or 10 minutes. I don't do the lines around the corner and camping out. I did that years ago, but I've already elevated and graduated past that. So.
Oh, man. Yo. I love you guys. I appreciate you coming down.
Love you too, man.
You guys are very lucky to have each other.
Thank you.
You know, I hope you appreciate that. These times fly by fast.
They do.
So, you know, I remember being in the Mako with my dad. It's very cool. He was screaming madness then. He's still screaming madness now.
Right.
But like, you know, he's 70, so it's cool. It's cool to be able to do that. So you're very lucky to be able to learn from somebody who has a great reputation and really knows their shit. Has been doing it for so long.
Thank you, man.
So I'm looking forward to watching you grow.
Thank you.
I mean, in height wise, every time I see you, you're like an inch bigger, man.
He just keeps growing.
It just,
and he
just
hasn't
keeps
stopped
going
it.
and going. But from a business and just, you know, personal standpoint, and you know, the community is always here for you if you need us. All right.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Obviously, I need the community to fucking flip 200 houses this year. So you know, if you have a house that stinks like cat pee, anything real estate related, I'm quick. I'm easy. That's right.
He's a good time.
I want to buy it. 516-777 sold. That's a wrap.